All right, it's 9:02. We'll call the meeting to order. We have a quorum and do you know if Deb is coming?
Deb is not coming.
Deb is not coming. So Martha, whose turn is it?
It's Ed's turn.
Right, and Ed will be authorized to vote at this meeting. Is there a motion to approve the June 2nd regular meeting minutes?
Second.
Ed moved, Carolyn seconds.
There's one typo with 2 words repeated. You can just take those out, but it's not anything substantive.
Oh, okay.
Just repetition of words.
Can you alert? I mean,
Yeah, sure. Of course.
tell Martha
Yeah.
which words. Okay. With that, hi, David. Hi. With that, is there any further discussion? And then subject to that technical correction, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Wow, we have a public here today. Is there any public comment? Okay. Is Michael here? Michael and David, and the first item on the agenda is the Lime Academy of Fine Arts. I drove by this morning and saw folks busily at work on the roof. I believe that's just a like for like replacement, but other comments you would like to share?
Sure. We have been approached by a donor, husband and wife, who would like to make a donation to the Academy of $1.8 million in order to purchase the property currently owned by Gilborough next door, 80-1 Lime Street. And their idea is they would like to rent the house that Gil has been living in. It's an older couple, 2 retired architects who love the Academy and love being close by to the Academy and really support our program. And they would like to see the sculpture barn that Gil has used for the last 20 years or so as something that the Academy and its students could access in order to really create additional space for the sculpture students. So we plan to attend the zoning board next Monday night to informally present our ideas, get any feedback that the zoning board might have, and officially approach them in the fall, probably at the October.
Well, we appreciate you coming today and filling us in. That's a grand change. Comments? Ed, questions? Yes.
Do you intend to continue the use of the sculpture garden?
Yes, I think that many of the sculptures that are there belong to either Gil or friends of Gil's and will likely be removed. There may be a few that remain. It's likely, given the focus at the Academy on more classical figurative sculpture, that those are the kinds of pieces that might go in the sculpture garden in the future.
So, Michael, so the idea is that the Academy will own the property, right? And rent the house and right.
Yeah. So yeah, they're making the donation to the Academy so that we can.
Right. So you're renting it to architects and using the other thing. Yeah. It sounds interesting. Use for the property.
And what do you envision changes in parking? I mean, will this lead to an increased use besides the tenants, obviously, but increased use that would necessitate additional parking on that site?
I don't think so. I don't know, John, if you've been back to there's a sort of a pathway between the Academy parking lot and the sculpture barn. Okay, so we would anticipate that our students would park there and access that the sculpture barn through that pathway so that they wouldn't use the driveway to access.
Using your already
The existing
substantial existing parking, right?
Are there any new structures envisioned, or is it basically?
What the couple who are making the donation would like to do a couple of alterations to the property. One is there's a pool currently, that they
Right.
could fill in the pool and create a fountain there. There are two changing cabanas adjacent to the pool. They want to make those artist studios.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool.
They like to they probably put up some kind of wall or fence or landscape to demarcate the property, you know, the
Mhm.
place where they'll be living from where the academy is. It's fairly clear now, but there might be additional shrubbery or things like that that might be done to. So those are the main changes.
Does the property, I'm just wanting to also understand if it's actually in the historic district or not. And does the property include the drive that, yeah,
So the property does include that driveway.
right.
And I think there's a small portion of it that fits within the jurisdiction of
the district.
historical.
And does that small portion include any portion of the existing house?
Of the house, yes.
It does,
It's
okay.
it's the east side of the garage where the garage starts.
Oh, right, right.
And is the garage attached to the house?
It is.
Okay, so as you probably know, if there are visible from any public streets, any part of a structure, any part of which is in the district, then the district would have jurisdiction over any structural changes from what's existing or anything new.
Yeah, the house itself, there are no conceived ideas of altering
Mhm.
the house itself. So I
Yeah.
don't think that we're gonna have any significant items to bring to you guys. So
It's a very exciting
Yeah.
project for the
Maybe that's
kids.
the largest gift in the
Yeah,
academy's
that's,
history.
that's wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
No, I think it's an exciting prospect for the academy. It's nice use for the property, good for all.
We're glad the academy's moving forward. There is a time of transition there.
Great.
Definitely as the enrollment has grown, the full-time enrollment's growing steadily. Continuing ed program is sort of off the charts, and youth program is sort of not as robust as the continuing ed, but moving up each year.
What's your full-time?
Full-time will be 50 students in the fall, and our plan is to grow by 10 students a year until we hit a maximum of around 80. So we've been following that trajectory for the last 5 years.
Terrific.
Great.
Good.
Well-
Thank you.
Yes, Carolyn.
Will you need housing for the additional students?
We're anticipating that the housing would be in the community, sort of the way things were when the academy was founded, and we're about to celebrate our 50th anniversary in 2026. And that was the idea that Elizabeth Gordon Chandler had, is that people would be a part of the community, and that's already happening up and down Lime Street. There are students that are living in extra rooms or auxiliary buildings throughout the community. So we'll continue.
Great. Well, thanks for
Thank you for-
filling us in.
Sure.
Sounds
Yeah, thanks for
sounds
coming.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
That's terrific.
Shoot. Um, So we're a little ahead of time, but that's okay. Greg is here, and Greg, if you have comments, wish to present your proposal, that would be great.
sure.
Please come up if you like.
Yeah, especially if there's anything to share.
Right.
So
basically, I think we had the conversation 2 months ago where we presented two separate signs, and without realizing it, that there was an issue with that. And so we've come back with a single sign. It's in two pieces that are chained together. But basically what we presented and discussed at the meeting. So one more graphic sign, which provides sort of a branding and is sort of a contemporary look. And then the other, which is the Connecticut Examiner below, constructed out of wood, painted oil paint, sort of a clad, but still using sort of old-fashioned techniques, and kind of an old-fashioned sign, replacing what was a metal sign, in fact, up there that's now been removed. I think it says this is because it was from the previous, we would anticipate installing it around the end of the month. It has to be constructed, which is.
And Martha, do you have copies of this?
No, I do not.
Okay.
So that was what, okay. I thought these had gone. I thought these had been.
Is there a picture of the new?
This is
The
what
new-
it would look like.
Oh, right here.
So then.
Sorry about that.
So there's a chain that
So
connects.
there's a chain that would be connected,
It's
a metal chain.
the equivalent of
The real
what you
sign.
see as a realtor sign or old line in. There we go. One sign.
One sign in two pieces, right?
And Greg, are these numbers measurements of
In inches.
inches?
They should be in
Okay.
inches. It's roughly, in terms of total area, it's roughly smaller than the previous sign that existed.
Right.
And this is wooden.
Wood.
Is the lettering wooden also?
The lettering would be painted. We just use standard sign oil paint.
Oh, I see, painted lettering.
So, actually Robin has done a lot of this professionally, so.
Questions, any comments from this is officially the first public hearing on the agenda. Any comments from anyone here or questions? Comments or questions from anyone else? Yes,
I
Caroline.
think, Greg, all respect for everything you're doing, the rebranding and everything. The only thing we should consider as a commission is all the new signage language that you've provided says that new signs must be compatible with the historic district. So just looking ahead, not looking at this sign particularly, but looking ahead, would this be considered compatible, the more modern upper part of the sign? I just think it's worth, discussing, because we never know what kind of precedent is being set.
Well, I feel that it's a lot like it's the logo itself is maybe a little more contemporary, but the idea is it's still sort of the quarterboard kind of,
I agree.
it's still, all of,
I mean, I guess for my own takes, speaking as a historian, the idea of sort of the simplicity of the federal and colonial, a lot of times people think of this as primitive. But from my taste, I look at it and I think of it as in many ways fundamentally modern and about streamlining. And so the simplicity of it actually, for my taste, it actually conforms with the underlying ideas of the historic district, if not quite the form. So it's sort of theme and variation, if you will. So when I actually look at like my own house or something, I think of it, the first thing I think of is like a streamlined trailer or something. I think of the loss of all that sort of detail. The same way as we see like Baroque churches turning into simple chapels in the UK.
I had one question on the chain. Is there a material, color, kind of, what's the character of the chain?
You know, as low key as possible, whether it would probably, I'm thinking it would probably be brass that lacks a shellac
Shine.
varnish, so
Yeah.
it'll weather out.
Right,
But not a plastic chain.
No,
not a plastic, yeah.
no, we'd be
Specify that just.
absolutely.
And is the entire sign, we don't get into color, but is the entire sign painted and then
It
oil and letters, or is
it would be
wood and
wood sign. It would have a white base coat.
white base coat? Yeah,
And then our standard, we had a sort of a red, white, and blue kind
your
of
logo.
color
Yeah,
scheme
yeah,
painted in it would probably have a slight sheen, but painted in oil sign.
And are you envisioning any sort of border around
Molding.
the sign?
It'll
or
have
molding?
it will have a slight molding around, slight, so it'll probably stick out a quarter inch.
Any other comments?
I didn't
or
understand the
questions?
color scheme. Could you say it again?
It's
White- the white
red,
background.
white and blue. So, but not a white background and forgotten the exact colors of the letters. It's roughly roughly what you see on our website. It's our look. So the idea is not to certainly, we generally don't like to stand out, if you will, but it is great marketing for us.
Will the lower portion of the sign be free floating? Or will it be anchored to the building?
It would be anchored to the building, hooked to the sign, and then anchored to the building.
yeah.
And will the lower section be black lettering or will that be red, white and blue also?
It'll be it would be two color. I'm not sure, a background and then one color, but I'm not sure if I believe if it was, whether it was black, I think it was black. It could be a very dark blue.
I think it's important to note the frame dimension. If it's a picture frame or you're on the submission.
Well, this is attached to the submission. We'll note that it's it's specified in inches.
Right. That the whatever the profile is, because to me, that's an important feature or design
The
element.
profiles, it's approximately, it'd be approximately 1 inch.
1 inch, yeah, profile around, yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
see.
I make a motion that we approve the sign with the note that the frame dimension is noted on the application.
Well, a frame dimension of
Of 1 inch,
approximately 1
approximately
by,
1 inch, yeah,
and then extending up about a quarter inch.
right.
I'll second the motion.
And could we also add that the chain connecting the signs be
A brass,
brass?
Right.
Okay,
Yep.
that's good.
And wasn't there something else we talked about? Guess that's it. I'm sorry. So with that,
With the
those two
motion.
conditions or stipulations,
Second,
further discussion? All in favor?
I,
there you go.
Thank you.
Carries. Thank you. Let's see, we're a few minutes ahead of time.
Wait a
Greg.
second, Greg, let me keep that.
Okay.
It's part of your submission.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, and also noting that the dimensions are,
Yeah, could you know
In-
this?
in
Do you have a-
inches.
I don't have a pen. Anyway, do you have a pen?
yeah.
I have a pen.
So I'll let you, I'm gonna let you know this.
Okay. Inches.
And the frame. I am dimension in that.
Inches and then approximately
1 inch. Yeah.
1 inch deep. Okay, there we go. Right. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Greg, while you're sitting here, we always like to take advantage of your expertise. we've made some additional inquiries about the status of the train issue. From what we've heard two things, one of which is a bit confusing. The one that's confusing is that the Charlestown meeting was between town officials and the state. There was no mention of Amtrak participating. I don't know if that's.
Amtrak participated in the
They
meeting.
did. And the second is that things are presently on hold. I mean, the process has officially started, I gather.
Well, I'd have to check with the agencies, a lot of things in government right now with funding and everything else. There's been a lot of uncertainty. Certainly, high-speed rail has been not exactly a popular issue in some ways with the current administration as it applies to California. Although high-speed rail projects in Texas, for example, have gotten support, and there's several of these. This particular project, it's a planning project. They did put out an RFP for it, and I don't know what the status of that is. This would be the second portion. So the first portion was the New Haven to Providence capacity market study. That was completed last year. And that basically gives the sense of, is this financially viable, right? And what's financially viable? And the project is to solve the connection between New Haven and Providence. How do we do it? The metrics for that connection are already in place, and those were determined in 2017, right? So how much capacity any solution has to add and how much speed it has to reduce from the connection, that is set in stone. So it's legally binding. But how they do it, technically it could connect any corridor between these two cities. Our understanding is the market study showed that it basically ruled out a northerly route. And so our expectation is that the coming planning study, the New Haven to Providence capacity planning study, will find a route that's something like what was created and proposed before. Technically, it cannot exist fully on the existing corridor. So, I mean, it's always been our question, if you put the same metrics in and you get rid of the route, does it just presuppose the same answer? And what does that mean? My understanding is that this project will take a little while, and that the capacity planning study will probably take another year or two. They have pledged just a couple of months ago to meet with town officials to set up public meetings, all of this, but I haven't heard anything from them yet.
We also put out an inquiry to contact